Sometimes in football you don't get what you deserve. You certainly deserve something out of that.
I 100% agree with you. Um, I thought we were absolutely brilliant in that second half, especially in difficult conditions, bumpy pitch that cut up, chasing the game. I thought we had so much control of the game. We had them camped in pretty much all second half. We created chances. We've got to score, and that's ultimately cost us. I think anybody who was here would. I'd like to think they'd agree that the players gave everything and that we played really well today. But ultimately, we've come away with nothing, and that's incredibly disappointing. And you've got to give Hereford, some credit for capitalising on a couple of moments that they had, and for defending resiliently at times. When we didn't manage to to break them down. So yeah, frustrating, but I'm really pleased with how my team played today. We've played a lot worse than that and won a lot of games. So it's a slap in the face, but that's football.
Well, there were two good finishes from them, fair dues, but the way that the lead up to that was disappointing.
Yeah, incredibly disappointing. It's our free kick. Delivery's not a good delivery, which is frustrating. And obviously Tommy knows that. I think he put two unbelievable balls in on the first corner, and then free kick just before that one from the opposite side that nobody got on the end of, and then he's been shallow with that one, and then he's let the ball bounce in the middle of the pitch, which you just can't do when you've got bodies committed up the field, and Finn Armstrong's gone into a tackle, probably just needed to take everything out and put the ball out the ground, and they've obviously capitalised on it. Look, I did think at the time he looked offside, if I'm being honest, but I have to look at it again. So yeah, that was, bitterly disappointing that it's come from our own free kick. And I think the second one, it's just he took a heavy touch trying to, drive the team forward when the game's very stretched and there's a lot of tired bodies, and he snapped into a 50-50 with their lad. The ball broke out, and to be fair, that Tate Campbell's he's a good player, he's an athletic boy, and he just took a touch out of his feet and smashed it. Great strike, to be fair. And obviously that just put any hope we had of maybe conjuring something beyond us. But I think all you can ever ask for as a manager is that your players give their all and they try and do the right things. And the lads have done that today and just fallen on the wrong side of the result. But for me, I think the best team lost, but you get nothing for that.
I think it's fair to say the game-changing moment came when Ross had just come on, great ball in, and Finn somehow unfortunately missed.
Yeah, it's a big miss. There's no point in sugarcoating it. He has to score. But I don't know, whether it's took a little bit of a deflection on the way through, whether it's took a little bit of a bobble. I'm not sure. He's just not got a good enough connection on the ball. And I think off memory, it looped up and landed on the top of the netting. But we had other opportunities as well. I felt we looked a threat all second half, to be honest. I really did. And not only that, but I felt we managed any kind of counter-attacks they tried to add. I thought we managed that incredibly well, which is, I think that's a part of our game that we've definitely improved upon. Where we're able to step in and sustain attacks and not let the opposition break on us frequently when you have got that much control in the game. But ultimately, it's about scoring goals. It's very difficult to create chances against a team that are playing with a back five. They're very big, physical, organised on a bumpy pitch. It's hard to create chances and break them down, but we did that today, which is pleasing. It's just putting it in the net that's eluded us, and that's why we've not got a result.
Because there was plenty to admire, the work rate, the play and everything, but it was just that lack of quality or the clinical side of things in the final third.
I don't think lack of quality, because we brought them down, we got behind them, we got through them, we got round them, we created some really good opportunities through good quality play. I think it's probably more that clinicalness, and again, it wasn't just one player. It's not like we're standing here saying that one particular player's missed 3 or 4 chances. We've had Johnny's had a couple of really good chances in the first half. First one where it got pulled back and it obviously took a deflection because we then got the corner from it. The one where he's been put in behind by Greg Taylor and he's took it on the volley early and just hit it over the bar. Ross Crane's put one over the bar at the end. Obviously, Finn's chance. Sam Army's tested the keeper a few times. The umpteen opportunities, a few goalmouth scrambles, some really good blocks and defending by them. So, and on top of that, I felt we should have had a penalty. On Finn Armstrong. If some of them fouls that were being given for minimal contact in the first half, then that's a penalty every day of the week on Finn Armstrong. Because he's just going to cut it back for I think Johnny on the edge of the box, and the lad's committed, gone to ground. He hasn't took the ball. Finn's gone down. no penalty. So just one of them frustrating days for us today.
When we spoke last night, he said after the good work at Curzon, that's the huge disappointment as well, isn't it? Not to be able to back that up.
Yeah, of course it is. We obviously want to win every game we play. And if we play like that 14 more times, we're going to win plenty of games and get plenty of points. So don't worry about that. But of course, to lose after such a great win last week, it is disappointing. But you can lose a game and you can be really poor, and then you're really, really disappointed. But we've played well there today and we've lost, so we're obviously disappointed and frustrated with the result. But I'm a massive believer that if your performances are there, then generally over the course of a season you'll get your results and your rewards for
that. Finn Armstrong, you obviously mentioned the penalty. Is it his loan spell? How long has he got left, and will you be looking to extend it?
1st of March we've got until initially, and if he keeps playing like he did the second half especially, then absolutely. But we've also got Freddie Sass, who's the top left back as well, so but I could say that about the other side of the pitch where Dylan Crow's been superb again today, but Kieran Ronan's pushing him as well. So yeah, he's a good player. Finn, 1st of March we've got him to initially. I think if we want to extend it, then I'm sure that Rochdale would be open to it. But if we're not able to, we've obviously got another top left back in the building in Freddie, and we just keep going. But we've got a lot of games, and before we get to that stage, and we'll just have to assess it then.
I mean, you're pretty much Tuesday, Saturday, sort of this moment. You've got obviously Tuesday night and then Saturday, and then obviously March, you've got a couple of Tuesday games as well. So that's something obviously which might sort of change your opinion and getting it extended, mightn't it, as well?
It might do. We've got a great squad. I mean, the likes of like Golden Mateo, Theo Williams, Freddie Sass, Pat Boys. Not even in the 16 today, but any of them could come in and start on Tuesday. So, and we will need that between now and the end of the season. Like you say, with the volume of games that we've got coming up, you see how much the players put into that game there today. If we decide to freshen it up a little bit on Tuesday, then we can do so without weakening the team, and that's a real strength of ours.
Obviously, Tuesday night, it's another big game, but obviously probably a little bit more bigger because of the reduction with ticket prices. How much of a boost would it be to get 1,500, 2,000 people in there cheering you on?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't look at it as being a bigger game because we've reduced the ticket prices. Every game's a big game. If you want to think like a big football club, then every game's a big game because you want to try and win them all. So what they charge to let people in, it doesn't really concern me. But what I would say is, I hope for the sake of the chairman that we do get a big gate, because even on charging ticket prices as we do, that plenty of people are very vocal about. The club loses money, and he has to find the deficit from somewhere. And for years, it's been through him putting his hand in his pocket. So by charging £5, he's going a bit deeper in his pocket maybe this month to cover any deficit. But hopefully, it'll entice some people to come back to the Walks who've maybe not been here for a while. It'll get a few new people through the door, hopefully. And if we can put on a performance like we did today, but match it with a good result, then hopefully many of them will come back, because there's so much potential at this club and in this town. and we can really keep on taking strides forwards if everybody's united and keeps coming and supporting the team. So I think it's a great initiative. It doesn't make the game any bigger or from mine and the players' perspective. It's just the next game. We obviously want to try and win it. It's going to be a difficult game, but if we have a bigger crowd and they make noise, then that can only be a good thing for the players. I think just to expand on that, I thought the support today was brilliant. I really did. I mean, obviously, I was critical last time that we spoke when we were. I felt more frustrated after the Rushoe game, stupidly, after the Radcliffe game, than I probably do now, because I felt we played really well today, and I think the supporters acknowledged that. Clapping the lads off at the end. I think they saw a team that gave everything and played well, just fell on the wrong side of the result. And hopefully they enjoyed it. They'll come back Tuesday as well. But I thought they made more noise than I've probably heard them making in a long time. I felt them trying to help the team, energise the team, and that was the performance that they got as a result of them kind of encouraging them on. We're just bitterly disappointed that we've not managed to get a result for them. But if they keep on fueling the team like that, and the team can keep on playing like they did second half, then we'll win plenty of games. Don't worry about that.
What's the situation with the lads who weren't in the squad today? Gold and Theo and Freddie. I mean, how close are those three now?
Yeah, they're all. Everybody's fit. There's not one player now that we've got who's unfit. Probably Sam. He's not trained this week just because he had a little bit of soreness in his hamstring, so we haven't rushed him. Gold's trained. He had a setback after he came on against Radcliffe, where he pulled up in training on the Monday. That's why he wasn't involved last week at Curzon, but he's trained Thursday, Friday, so we could have involved him, but we didn't want to because one, I don't think anybody in the 16 deserved to be left out. Two, I don't think he did enough to be in the 16 today over the lads that were on the bench. And three, I didn't want to rush him back with him maybe, then pulling up after only doing a couple of days training, as was the case after before the Radcliffe game. So that was that same Theo, just people in front of him probably needs to go out and play some games. Theo, for his career as a young lad. Needs minutes. You don't develop as a young player if you don't play games. Look at Cameron Ford-Brown, dropped down to Felixstowe, step 4, had a great season, trains well every day, deserves his opportunity in the 16. Now, I'm not going to leave a kid out who deserves an opportunity just to put a name on the bench, because I reward people who work hard and who train well and apply themselves daily. Freddie's just unlucky. Because he's fit now. He was available for selection against Curzon, but we felt that Finn's done well since he's come in. Because of that, we didn't want to rush Freddie either, because we can't have him, with how explosive he is, we can't have him breaking down again. But then Finn's played well and he keeps his shirt. But again, he could go from being in the stands today to starting on Tuesday if we decide to freshen the team up. So and then Pat just because he's the keeper, and that, take the risk and have 5 outfield players on rather than taking a spot with him on the bench. But again, he could come in and play at any stage. So we're in a really strong position. The lads who are on the bench are good players. The lads who are in the stand are good players. I think our strength in depth will, continue to help us for the rest of the season. But they've got to keep working hard to push the lads that are in the team. Lads that are on the bench have got to keep working hard to stay on the bench and to then try and get into the 11. And if they're not starting, or if they're in the stand, their attitude's got to be spot on, because they could quite easily, be thrown into the team. And I expect and need them to perform.
And I know you're not going to bring anyone in for the sake of it. Are you still looking?
Yeah, still looking. We've missed out on another one this week. Just location. Very good player. We felt it was close. but just opted to go somewhere else local to home part-time. So I'll let you dig around and connect the dots on that. But he would have been a good addition for us. So we are still looking. We've had a striker in training with us last week. Done all right. Not committing either way on that particular player yet. Just need to see a little bit more. And there's still 2 or 3 others that we're in discussions with. But it's just it's the hardest part and the most draining part of the job. I could just go and sign. I actually heard or read some of Paul Caddis's comments when they signed the lad the other day from Matlock, and he said that he won't just bring anyone in, and it's the same for me. I could pick up the phone and bring 3 players in tomorrow, but I've got to make sure that they're the right ones and that they're gonna make what we've got better. Otherwise, I'm just excuse me, I'm just giving myself more unnecessary headaches. If I can bring somebody in who's going to make the 11 better and give us a little bit of something different, then we'll do it. We have tried. We've been trying for weeks, and it's not through a lack of support from the chairman and from Joe. Maybe they get frustrated with my due diligence, shall we say. But recruitment's something that I've always felt I've been strong at, and I think probably one of the strengths on that side is because I am prepared to be patient to make sure we get the right ones.
Okay. Can I ask you about Kyle? He probably had a role in that first goal, but whether it was offside or not, I don't know. But there's an attitude when he snaps into a tackle and somebody's legs and whatever, that is almost like a lead by example attitude. How valuable is he and that attitude to you?
Oh man, yeah, he's just a top player, isn't he? He epitomises everything that we want to be as a team. Quality, competitive, difficult to play against, determined to win, prepared to run through brick walls to get results. And generally, when he's not in the team, the results dip a little bit. So I think he's one of the best centre halves in this league. And he's an absolute diamond of a bloke as well. So he's a top player.
There's a nice little interchange with him and Alex Babos, when I think he basically said, "You've had me, I'm going to have you back," and we're equal. Yeah. I mean, he does that, doesn't he? There's the 1v1, we're done.
Yeah, yeah.
He's fair when he's dirty.
Exactly that. But listen, the best players generally are. The best players generally are. They're hard, but they're fair. They compete and they do everything they have to do to try and get the better of their opponent and to try and win a game of football. And you've got to push the parameters sometimes. You've got to be aggressive. You've got to be difficult to play against, because if you're not and you're too nice, you get nothing. Not just in football, but generally in life. So, he's a key player for us, and I thought he had a good game again today, and as did all the boys. But hopefully they'll get some rewards on Tuesday night.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you very much.